Hi guys, welcome back for another video. My name is Aisha for those of you that are new to my channel, and if you're returning, you are welcome back. If you're not subscribed already, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, as well as the notification bell so that you're notified whenever I post a new video. Okay guys, so today's video is a total impromptu one. I was not meant to film this. This wasn't something that I had in my head to do, but oh my god, I have to do this video. So basically, I am a marketing manager, and as part of my job, I recruit for staff for my team, okay? And so guys, basically, and I'm currently recruiting right now for a marketing assistant for my team. So we had 75 applications, and as I've been marking these applications, literally like this morning is when I decided that I was going to do this video, because I was sat on the train marking the applications and just wanting to literally pull my hair out. I was just like, what are people doing? Like, what is this? This is not an application form, and it just drives me mad. But then I'm like, do you know what? People probably don't realize, like, I guess it's not a skill that everybody has, because one thing I can tell you is that recruiting and kind of going through the application process as I do, as I have done for a number of years, makes you understand application forms and how to make an amazing application. So I thought, you know what, let me come on here and let me teach you guys who need help with applications how to write an amazing application, because it really isn't that hard to do that, to actually like just write a good application form. So that's what I'm going to do now, and just talk you through stuff and give you a bit of kind of from the other side, from a recruiter's point of view, because that will help you massively if you follow the tips I'm going to give you. Okay, so I literally have written all the notes based on everything that I have seen when I have been completing application forms for things that you should not do, and then I'll kind of give you advice for how to tackle it and do it the right way. And I can guarantee you that if you follow these techniques, then you will land yourself the interview that you want. So make sure to follow it, and make sure if you know anybody who's, you know, looking for a job or whatever, make sure to share this video with them, because it can really make a difference between them not getting an interview and them getting the interview. And if I forget anything as well, or if I realize that I've forgotten anything after I've posted this video, I will write any additional ones down below, any additional tips that I have for you, okay? So like I said, I've written all the points down based on the things that I've seen in application forms. So I'm just going to get straight into it, and I'm just going to make sure that I follow this just so that I don't miss anything out. So the first number one point is to read the job description and the person's specification before you do anything else. Make sure you understand what the job that you're applying for is and what it is that they're looking for in a person, okay? So you need to be clear of that. Make sure you understand that first and foremost, okay? And then the next thing is to make sure that when you are completing the application form that you evidence all the essential criteria. I'll put a picture up on the screen of an example person specification, and you will see that there's always the desired criteria, and then there's always the essential criteria. So the desired parts of the person spec is just what it says. It's desired. You don't have to have it, but if you do, then it might give you an additional kind of advantage, okay? But what they really need from you is to show that you meet the essential criteria, okay? So make sure that you are evidencing and telling people how you do meet the essential criteria, because otherwise you can just be disregarded. Let me show you something, okay? Here's a bit of inside knowledge for you. So basically, when we're recruiting, when we're going through application forms, the way we do it is we grade it. So this is what we use in my organization. I don't know if you'll be able to hold on, let me hold something up behind it. This is what we use in my organization, and I don't know if there we go. So we use this. So it has all the criteria from the job specification that I outlined. So each line has all the criteria. So there's the essential ones, which will say E beside them, and then there's the desirable ones, which will say D beside them, okay? So this is it. So we basically go through each application. So each row here represents each application that we complete. So we go through line by line and mark it against the criteria, okay? And then we score it at the end, we add it up and score it, and then you can see your top like which ones your top ones were, basically, okay? Your top applications. So that's how we do it. So this is why it's really important to, you know, make sure that you're telling them how you meet the criteria, because the higher the points, then the more likely you're going to get the interview. The lower the points, then you're just going to be put on the scrap heap with all the other ones that didn't bother kind of showing them how they meet the criteria, okay? So make sure that you are showcasing that you have all the criteria, but especially, most especially, the essentials. Because the thing is, you see, if you don't have all the desirables, but you have amazing evidence for your essentials, then you're more likely going to get that interview. Whereas if you have all the desirables, but don't have some of the essentials, you're not going to get the interview, okay? So for example, one of our essential criteria was that you have to have a relevant degree or equivalent, okay? So if you didn't put that on your application form, if you didn't show me on your application form that you had that, then I would just stop marking. I wouldn't even carry on marking it. Or another essential criteria was that if you didn't, you need to have GCSEs at grades minimum grade C in maths and English. So if you didn't put that on the application form, I stopped marking. I didn't bother going any further because you did not meet the essential criteria. This is why it's really important. And the frustrating thing is, obviously, if you went to university, you will have these qualifications. So it's just that you're not reading what is required from you, which is why the first point I said read everything and understand what is required from you. Okay, so my third point is make the recruiter's life as easy as possible. Like I just said to you, we had 75 applicants, okay? So that was 75 application forms that I had to go through and decide the ones that we were going to interview and the ones that we weren't going to interview. So when you're going through all those applications, you get bored, you get tired, you get frustrated reading really bad applications. So you need to make the recruiter's life easy. And you know, like I'll be going through applications and then thinking, oh my god, wanting to pull my hair out, and then you come across that one that just makes your life easy for you. Like everything is clearly sectioned. So you know, the first criteria, they'll write that as a heading, and then they'll write how they meet it and evidence it. The second criteria, they'll write that as a heading with everything below, etc, etc, etc. That makes it so much easier, because then me as a recruiter, I'm going through and I'm seeing, yep, they're ticking this off, yep, they're ticking this off, they're ticking that off. And that is what you want to be doing when you are applying for a job. You need to literally break it down and make it as clear as possible to the recruiter that you do meet all the criteria that they're after. If you do that, I can and obviously the content you're putting in is like good stuff, the stuff that they're after, then I can guarantee you will get an interview, okay? So make sure to, now like I say, you don't have to write headings as such, but to start off with, I would say, if you're not quite, you know, there with your applications, I would say to start off by actually putting the headings, putting the criteria as headings with your evidence below. Once you get to a stage where you are really good at application forms, then you don't have to necessarily put the headings, and you can just start your sentences like kind of with the criteria almost. So an example of a time that I have shown excellent communication skills, rather than writing communication skills and then putting it underneath. But as I said, as a starting off point, I would always just put the headings. That's the safest option, and that's the way that you're going to make sure that you are evidencing to them exactly how you meet every single point, okay? My next piece of advice, something that you need to do, is when you're completing an application form, it's great you telling them all the amazing stuff that you have, all the great skills that you have, you know, and all this stuff, all singing, all dancing skills, but it's no use if you are telling them that in place of the skills that they're actually looking for. And this is something that I saw over and over again. It's like, oh my god, like this person has some amazing skills, really cool skills, but it's not going to help them in the job, hence why it wasn't one of the things on the criteria. Okay, so it's not a problem that they have those skills. That in itself will not get you an interview or the job. It's the fact that you have all these skills, but then you don't show that you have the skills that we've actually asked for on the application form. And it's, again, just so frustrating because there's always going to be a way, and the job that we're recruiting for is a graduate entry one. So it's not like we're expecting you to have all this industry experience. It's more that we just want you to be able to showcase the transferable skills that you've developed through kind of university and on any kind of volunteering and anything like that you've done. So just always remember to, you know, showcase the skills, like talk about the skills that has been asked from you, not just the skills that you feel you should tell them about because it also sounds great. Okay, now if you've got the skill, you know, once you've put in the skills that is required for the job, then yeah, if there's anything really cool that you've done, throw it in there as well, but focus on the things that you need for the job. I cannot kind of say this enough, but that is really important. Oh my god, and this next one, I honestly, in this day and age, did not think I would have to say this, but do not handwrite your application and then scan it and then send that, because that is just, I honestly, like, I had 2 of these. Out of the 75, I had 2, which isn't too bad, but I'm just still shocked that it actually happened. When I saw it, I was just like, what? Like, why? Like, why would you and the worst thing is, like, one of them was worse than the other, but the handwriting, it was illegible. Like, one of them, I literally could not read it. So I thought, why did you even like waste your time doing the application? But then again, like I said before, you know, maybe they don't know, because I just feel like in this day and age, like, there's no excuse not to be able to type your application form on a computer. Like, there are internet cafes, you can go to a friend's house, borrow a friend's laptop, surely. So, you know, do not handwrite your application. And on one of them, they literally, like, so not only was it handwritten, but they'd even crossed some sections out. So they didn't even think, like, because they obviously thought, like, you know, a handwritten application wasn't messy enough, let me just cross things out as well. So I was really surprised by that. So guys, like, literally, and I'm sure most of you don't need to be told this, but do not handwrite your application, because like I said, one of them was illegible. I could not even read it. So that went straight to the no pile, because I couldn't even figure out what it was saying on there. So yeah, please do not handwrite your application. And I literally can't believe that I'm having to say this, but if you just genuinely don't know, then now you know. Okay. Whew. So another thing that literally I have seen so many times, when just over these last 2 days when I was shortlisting, is the number of applicants that just don't bother with the personal statement section. So in our application form, at the end there's a section where it clearly states to, you know, give any additional information that showcases how you meet the criteria. It doesn't quite say it in those words, but that's basically what it's getting at, okay? But it says it very clearly on there. I just can't remember word for word what it actually says. Okay, so in that section, that's your moment to shine. That's your time to be like, yeah, this is the things that I've done to show you that I meet this criteria. These are the things that I've done to show you how I meet this criteria, etc., etc., right? But literally, so many applicants did not do that. So many of them just left it blank. And I was just like, what on earth? You can't do that. If they give you a personal statement and tell you to showcase to them in that section how you meet the different criteria, you need to be completing that section, guys. Do not just leave it empty. That is just like so bad. Literally, like when I first open each of the application forms, I scroll to the very bottom to that section to see if they've got nothing in there. And then that really honestly decides where I go with the application. Because if you're not giving me all that stuff, then that application to me is just not good enough, and it's not worth even me, like, you know, going through it. So please, if there's a section for a personal statement, you know, a section that says kind of go through how you meet the different criteria, do that. Don't just ignore it, because you're pretty much talking yourself out of a job by doing that. Okay. The next thing is to make sure that you proofread your work. There is nothing worse than when you've gone through, when you know, have a really good application form and you've told the recruiter who's reading it, you know, I have great attention to detail, I have excellent communication skills, this, that, and the other. Yeah, your application has loads of errors in it, because then that's just like you're totally contradicting yourself. You're saying one thing, but then you're demonstrating another thing. So make sure that you know, check it over again, check it over a third time. Like, I literally, when I do application forms, I check it probably way too many times, but you need to be checking it. And if you want to, you can get your parents to check it, get a friend to check it, get your siblings to check it. I used to, when I was younger, I'd always get my dad to read through it for me. Now I don't, I just check it myself. But you know, there's no harm, like, even if you're not like fresh out of uni or whatever, or applying for your first job, there's still no harm in getting someone else to check an application form for you, okay? Because the thing is as well, you'll get recruiters who, if they spot an error, they literally can just, you know, boop, get rid of that. So you don't want to give them any reason to not put you forward or to not kind of like your application. Okay, my next point is give yourself enough time. Don't be like, oh, that job looks so good, I'll apply for it, and then like a day before the closing date you apply. Don't do that. As soon as you see that job opening, start prepping your application, okay? It's always better to kind of take your time with an application and put in an amazing application than to leave it last minute, get that application done and send it, because you are more likely, probably like 10 times more likely, to submit something that has errors in it, or just, you know, something not right about it. So don't do that. Always prepare like in advance. Give yourself as much time as possible to get it done and check it over and over and over again, okay? Oh my god, so this next one, yeah, is really, really important. So when you are evidencing the criteria, don't just say you have it, but actually give evidence of a time when you have demonstrated it, okay? So it's not good enough to say, I have excellent communication skills, or I'm told that I have great communication skills, or I always use communication skills. You need to say, you know, I have excellent communication skills. An example of a time that I have used my communication skills successfully is when I was teaching English as a foreign language abroad, and you know, I had to rely on non-verbal communication as well as verbal communication to get the students that I was teaching to understand me. Or you can say I have excellent proofreading skills. Examples of an example of a time that I've used this skill is when I was working as a proofreader for a publishing company, and I had to proofread and check any errors before the book went to publication. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So you need to always back it up. It's not good enough to just say you have something, because let's face it, everybody can say that they have a skill, and if that's how you were judged on your application, just saying that you have it, then everyone would get the interview, right? What separates the excellent applications from the duff ones are those people who evidence how they actually meet the criteria, okay? So remember that this is honestly one of the most important ones, because it's so easy to do, but you really need to remember that you need to evidence it. Evidence. And it doesn't always have to be from like paid work as well. It can literally be like from volunteering, from university, from work shadowing. It can be from something that you do at home. It literally, you just need to use your brain, engage your brain, and think of scenarios, situations. Always use examples. Okay, so my next tip is, if you're at university, please go and speak to either your careers centre or your students union, because they will usually have some kind of application form training session in place for you guys. So these sessions are so important for you, and like we offer it. And I always just think, like, whenever I see the applications, because this isn't the first time like I said, that I've recruited, I've done it for a number of years now, and whenever I see like application forms from our students when we're recruiting for like student staff and things like that, I always just think, like, why? You know, there's no excuse, because we put on these training sessions for students, so they just need to be coming to them, because obviously they need help with these things, you know. So if your university students union does offer it, then please make sure to attend them, because it really can help you. Okay, and finally, I've kind of touched upon it, is don't forget that you can draw on experience that isn't just paid employment. Sometimes I think people forget that, you know, you get transferable skills from a range of different things, whether that's volunteering, whether that is being part of a society at your students' union, whether that is work shadowing somebody in a job that you're interested in, or just, you know, daily things. If you, I don't know, if you babysit, you know, there are skills that you develop in different kind of situations and in different roles that aren't necessarily paid employment. Like I said, the role that we're recruiting for is for basically targeted at kind of graduates, so we're not expecting these students to have a whole lot of kind of employment history to draw from. So, you know, that's why we were expecting them to bring kind of their university experience, any volunteering they've done, this kind of thing. So guys, I really hope this video helped you, and I think I might have got a bit too passionate, but it just honestly, like, I feel annoyed when I see like what could have potentially been a great application form that just has not been done to the best of the person's ability. That there's nothing more painful than that, when you see like a candidate that really could have had the potential, but because they obviously didn't read the application properly, or they didn't check their work properly, then it's like, well, actually, are they going to be thorough? Are they going to be someone that pays attention to detail, you know? So it is really annoying. So please, please, please avoid making these mistakes if you're applying for a job. Like I said, please share this video with people you know that might need this, that might benefit from this, that might be applying for jobs. This video can help absolutely anybody, not just students, but literally anybody. If you find this video useful, helpful, give this video a thumbs up, and again, don't forget to subscribe before you leave. So yeah, I think having an insight into how we recruit should hopefully really help you guys when you're applying for jobs, now that you understand how it's done and how important it is to demonstrate how you meet each of the criteria. So yeah, like I said, give this video a thumbs up, share it. You'll be really helping somebody. If you yourself are applying for jobs and stuff like that, if you apply these tips, then as long as the content you're putting in there, you know, you are able to evidence all the criteria, then you will land yourself the interview. Please do let me know if any of you use these tips and you do land yourself an interview. And that is all, guys. Oh, and one other thing, guys, as well, sorry about the cuckood, but if any of you guys are applying for jobs or anything like that, and you want to ask me any questions, then please feel free to do so down below, or you can follow me on my Instagram and ask me there, and I can give you as much guidance and support as possible. Okay, that's what I want to add. I will catch you in my next video. Bye.